Hanako-san, thank you so much for accepting to do this video interview.
My pleasure.
As it is currently not possible to travel to Japan, we are doing this remotely and you are welcoming us into your home. You live in Hagi, a beautiful castle town in western Japan. Hagi is among the most celebrated of Japan's ceramic towns. It has a long history, with Hagi ware dating back to the early 17th century. And your family firmly belongs to that tradition. It is one of the most highly regarded dynasties of ceramicists in Japan, going back to the mid-17th century. Your father, Miwa Ryukisho, was active until recently under the name Kyusetsu 12, meaning that he was the 12th head of the family line. It is now your uncle who has inherited the title. And you are the first woman potter in your family. And since your initial solo exhibition in Tokyo in 2001, your work has been exhibited internationally, from China and Korea to France and the USA. I would like to touch upon different aspects of your work, from technique and inspiration to your being part of a time-honored tradition. So perhaps you could introduce us briefly to the kind of work you do?
I usually create ceramic installations based on the traditional techniques of Hagi ware. This is the piece I've just made. It's not fired yet and needs to be dried for a few weeks. It depends on the season.
I would like to hear about your creative process. I would be interested, for example, in knowing what you think about when you create a new work. Do you have an image in mind, perhaps a poem or a period of history? And do you make drawings in preparation of a new shape?
Yes, I always have images in my mind. The image stays with me for a long time until I complete the work. Before using the clay, I make drawings.
One striking aspect of your ceramics is their rich, smooth texture. What can you tell me about that?
I use local clay from Hagi and clay that comes from an area near Hagi and Yamaguchi prefecture. For me, clay is like the skin of human body. I like its natural smooth texture. Clay comes from the earth. When I make ceramics, I'm filled with feelings of love and respect for this planet.
Now, about your inspiration. I know about the importance of the natural world for you and of lotus flowers in particular. Could you tell us in a few words why this is such an important motif?
When I was a child, I used to walk to school. I passed a lotus pond where hundreds of lotuses grew. I will never forget the moment I saw a lotus flower for the first time. It was shining in the morning sun. I was not sure if it was real or an illusion of the Pure Land. I realized then the Pure Land or the paradise exists in this world. Incidentally, my name Hanako means lotus flower child in Japanese.
The culture of tea and the tea ceremony is a central aspect of your work. And in fact, today you're sitting in front of a rather wonderful and special tea house. Could you tell us about it?
So this is a mobile tea house called Hanako's Tea House number 2, which represents my collaboration with two architects, Alex Lee and Yamakawari Kitoshi. The materials used to create the tea house are reeds, willow, bamboo, washi paper, and silk. The decorative pillar, called tokobashira in Japanese, is wisteria. These materials all come from nature and will return to nature. Through this transportable tea house project, I hope to make people aware that we are also part of nature, and eventually we will return to nature.
You come from an illustrious dynasty of ceramicists, counting not one but two living national treasures. and you are the first woman in the Miwa family to become a potter. Has it presented some challenges?
Throughout Japanese art history, most of the creations were made by men. Therefore, women artists have the potential to produce new art. My grandmother used to say, I'd like to be a musician or an artist next time I am born, even though I was not sure if I would be reborn. I decided to be a ceramicist in this life.
And I wonder if there is something that connects all the potters in your family, perhaps something you have in common.
When I heard the history of my family, initially I thought it must be a fiction someone made up. Sometime later, however, I found a clay mold made by the first potter in my family. It was the casting mold for dishes in a lotus leaf design. I thought he must have imitated my work. Since then, I started to accept that my ancestor was a potter and possessed an inspiration and sensibility similar to mine.
To close this interview, could you tell us about your current and future projects? Are there international exhibitions in preparation where some of our viewers outside of Japan could see your work?
After the pandemic is over, I look forward to showing my work both in Europe and Japan. An exhibition that was to be held in Copenhagen has been postponed. I hope it will take place soon.
Thank you so much, Hanako-san, for offering us this insight into your work and your world. And I would also like to thank you very much for having made us the honor of wearing a kimono on this occasion.
You're welcome.